Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Daily Cafe Chat. I'm Emily.
And I'm Lisa. Happy Sunday, June 14th.
Have you ever asked an AI one simple question and it gave you 5 paragraphs back?
Yes, sometimes I ask for the weather and get a tiny research paper.
Exactly. On a Sunday morning, I want the useful part first.
Short, clear, and no extra cloud lecture.
So today's keyword is concise, spelled C-O-N-C-I-S-E. It means short, clear, and not full of extra words.
I need that word on a mug.
We are starting with an AI assistant that may finally understand that idea.
An AI that does not talk too much?
That is the claim. Then we go very far from Sunday coffee, about 10 billion light years away. Casual.
Just a tiny morning commute.
And after that, we come back to New York Harbor, where an old fireboat has a very different second life. I already like the shape of this episode. 3 different settings, 1 quiet question about what things are for.
That is a very good Sunday question.
Before we jump in, if you're new here, we turn real news into a natural English conversation every day.
And if you like learning this way, subscribe and come back for another coffee tomorrow.
First story. A tech reporter tried Apple's new assistant, and the surprising compliment was that it is curt.
Curt, as in kind of short?
Short, direct, and not very chatty.
Honestly, that sounds useful.
That is the interesting part. A lot of AI tools try to sound like a friend. They explain, expand, and sometimes keep talking after you already got the answer.
I have absolutely been trapped by a helpful paragraph that would not end.
This new version seems to go the other way. In the examples from the article, it answers weather questions and personal questions with much shorter replies than rival chatbots.
So Apple is not trying to make the assistant your emotional roommate.
Right. More like a tool that gets out of the way.
That's a strong identity. Not every assistant needs to become your best friend.
The article even treats curt as a compliment. It feels refreshing because the assistant knows when to stop.
That's rare online. Knowing when to stop may be the real premium feature.
A broader release is expected around the public iOS 27 rollout in fall 2026.
So not something everyone has today, but a preview of the direction.
Exactly. And the direction says something. Apple may be betting that people don't always want conversation. They want the thing done.
I like that. If I ask for the weather, I don't need a small essay about clouds.
That's concise in real life.
Short, clear, and merciful.
And it raises a bigger question. Do we want AI to feel human, or do we want it to be useful first?
On a Sunday morning, useful first. Please and thank you.
Our second story goes from short answers to a very large object.
How large are we talking?
6 billion times the mass of our sun.
6 billion suns? My brain just stepped outside for a minute.
And it is about 10 billion light years away in a galaxy called MRG-M0138.
That is not just far. That's ancient light far.
Exactly. We're seeing it from a time when the universe was about 4 billion years old.
But the headline says the telescope weighed it. How do you weigh a black hole from that far away?
Not with a scale, thankfully. The team used the James Webb Space Telescope to study how stars near the center of that galaxy move.
Because the stars move differently if something huge is pulling on them.
Yes, that method is called stellar dynamics. The motion of the stars tells scientists how much mass must be sitting in the middle.
So they didn't directly see the black hole. They read the behavior around it.
Perfect way to put it. And there was another trick, gravitational lensing.
That's the space magnifying glass, right?
Right. A closer galaxy bent and magnified the light from the distant galaxy by about 30 times.
30 times. So the universe helped zoom in.
Pretty much. That made it possible to study a dormant or sleeping supermassive black hole at this distance.
Sleeping makes it sound peaceful, but 6 billion suns is not exactly cozy.
True. Dormant just means it's not actively feeding and shining brightly like some black holes do.
Which makes it harder to find.
Much harder. That's why this measurement matters. It pushes the method much farther than before.
I love that the quiet one is still enormous.
That may be the theme of the universe.
Short Siri, sleeping giant. Quiet doesn't mean small today.
Our third story is much closer to home and much easier to picture.
Good. I need a harbor after 6 billion suns.
In New York, a former fireboat has reopened as a floating bar.
Wait, a fireboat? As in a boat that used to fight fires?
Exactly. The article says it sits near a Brooklyn pier with harbor views.
That is such a good second life.
It was described as a fireboat from President JFK's era. The operators bought it in 2016.
So this was not an overnight idea. That took a decade.
Right, and now it serves harbor views, tropical cocktails, and Caribbean bites.
I can see the sunset already.
One detail is almost too perfect. The report mentions drinks being served from a retired fire hose. That is not just branding, that is commitment. The menu details include things like salt cod hush puppies, ceviche, jerk chicken sandwiches, and piña colada ice cream. A former emergency vehicle becoming a summer hangout. That's a plot twist. And it works because the old role is still visible. It's not pretending to be a normal bar on land. It's using its history instead of hiding it. Exactly. The same object, a completely different purpose. That feels oddly hopeful. A boat that once rushed toward danger now gives people a place to slow down. That may be my favorite sentence today. Same. And after AI that stops talking and a black hole that sleeps, a retired fireboat serving cocktails feels like the gentle ending we needed. Sunday approved. So today we had 3 very different kinds of restraint and reinvention.
Siri kept it short.
JWST helped scientists measure something huge by reading the quiet motion around it.
And a fireboat became a floating bar without losing its old character.
Today's question for you is this: which story made you rethink what something is supposed to do?
Option A, the concise AI. Option B, the sleeping giant black hole. Or Option C, the retired fireboat with a second life.
I think I am option A today. I want more technology that knows when to stop.
I am Option C. Give me the fire hose cocktail story every time.
Tell us your pick in the comments. And if this conversation helped your English, please like, subscribe, and come back tomorrow.
So take today's word with you. Concise means short, clear, and not crowded with extra words. Use that when you need to and leave room for a good second act. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.